At M_9 tweets, I was more than excited to watch Ex Machina this past weekend. Why do you feel that it was such a limited release, nowhere in Florida?
I think this happens a lot with a lot of more artistic films and these smaller films, is that the people who release the films are just saying, is this going to get a huge audience? And if they don't think it is, even no matter how good it is, if they don't think they can market in such a way that it will draw out a huge audience, then they'll put it in a smaller release. Then hopefully what happens sometimes is that they put it out in a small release, people go to it in droves, and then they go, well, let's make a wider release. And the following week, they expand it to more theaters. That's what you hope to see happen. So it's not always about, is the movie good enough to be in more theaters? The real question for the money people is, will it get a big enough audience to justify putting it in more theaters? And that's always the bigger question. Alicia, you saw the film.
I love it.
You loved, actually, and I know Christian Harloff, I think he called it his favorite film of the year so far. But anyway, your thoughts on this whole type of situation?
Well, it costs a lot of money to get a movie into theaters. I don't think many people know that. So when it comes to a smaller film like Ex Machina, which is independently made and it's got a small distributor attached, they want to test the waters, like you said. So limited release, but it's opening wider this weekend. And it's gotten great reviews, great reaction from people who've seen it so far. So I really hope that it gets an even wider release so people can see it, because it's such a well-made sci-fi movie, and it shows that you don't need a huge budget or, you know, lots of different locations or big cast or huge special effects to make it work. If there's a great story there and great characters, then it's enthralling. And the production design and everything, I can't stop raving about this movie.
Should they be trumpeting the Star Wars connection a little bit more?
They should.
Like in their marketing, shouldn't they be saying...
Oscar and Donal.
Yeah, saying, hey, from stars of the upcoming Star Wars film,
It's like, before you see them in Star Wars, see them in Ex Machina, because they did this movie before Star Wars, and they play off each other really well, those two.
Dennis,
I haven't seen it yet, but it's like on the top of my list. But we've been pretty busy here at AMC,
yes, we have.
So I haven't had a chance to see it. I always wonder about those. I mean, yeah, it's always a risk with the smaller movies. They don't know, like, especially it costs money to distribute it, costs money to market. I don't know. I've seen movies before. I think, oh man, there's gonna be tons of people. Like, I remember when Moon came out with Sam Rockwell. I'm like, this is fantastic. Everybody should see it. So it was one of my favorite movies of that year. And it had a very limited release, and not many people saw it. I remember seeing Raid 2 just last year. I went in there was like 2 other people in the theater. And I was like, man, this movie's awesome, but, you know, no one's ever heard of it. So it's always a risk, and I think that's why.